Hello, welcome to the channel, and today we have a special guest here in Zurich in my studio. Welcome, Alex. How are you, man?
Hi, Marco. Good. How are you?
Good to see you, man. So you're the watchmaker, the designer behind your beautiful brand, Monteo, and today we're going to discover the watch and also the story behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how did you decide to, let's say, design your own watch? Because it's not like it's a very monumental task, right?
Yeah, it's a big task, and first it basically started out, I think, with almost any watchmaker who isn't a trained watchmaker, just by a fascination for the mechanics. And I started loving watches that were too expensive for me to buy.
Yeah.
So basically, I decided I want to do it myself, and that's how I started out with just dials at first, and then go on into more design, more self-taught stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, were you fascinated by one watch which like triggered the whole process, or was it a combination of watches, or what
So-
were some of your inspirations? Maybe,
The first watch that made me interested in watches in general was one from my father. He had one from a local watchmaker that hand skeletonized the Unitas movement, and that showed me the beauty of the mechanics and everything. So that got me interested first, but then I also came across your channel as well,
thank you.
where I found the interest for independent watchmaking, for watches from Kariuti line and the dials, the guilloche. I found this extremely fascinating, how you can do such small details in that scale. And that then started it off with, I want to make a dial like this, which was way more difficult than anticipated. But yeah, that started it, and so I created my first pieces where I just basically did the dials and the case design. I manufactured it then with a friend.
So these are now like some samples.
Yeah,
The
these
beginning.
are the samples where I tried to teach myself the guilloche art. So I did these all myself on a Schäublin lathe with an adapter I designed myself. So
Oh.
I made the adapter myself. And then I did some different materials, some different cuts, and some different patterns. And then I wanted to put it in the first watches. For example, the one you're holding now is a copper dial that has a flower pattern on it, which was very difficult to achieve with just a manual lathe, basically. And the other one on your right hand is the first steel dial I did, which was more difficult because steel is very difficult to cut.
Yeah.
So-
Nice. And the case.
The case I designed myself, and then I have a friend who is a machinist, so I asked him to CNC machine it for me, and I did the finishing myself as well. So this was the first step into it. This was during COVID, when I had nothing else to do.
And what is this one?
So this is the next step where I wanted to do more of the case myself. So the case and everything is completely handmade with conventional machines, but it also has the Chinese micro-rotor movement inside. But it was just for me to teach myself how to make cases on a conventional lathe and milling machine.
And the crown?
The crown is also conventionally made by myself. This one is actually made of titanium, where I started to try out some materials, what I can do myself.
And the buckle?
And the buckle is also made by me. It's the design from my brand watch, but that was the first things I started doing myself. So I have my workshop where I'm continuously teaching myself how to do every part of a watch by myself. I'm also designing movement, but that's a far way to go. So that's why I decided to start my brand, where I basically just design the watch and then have people who are the best at their job produce it.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
that's the transition from teaching myself to
The final product.
the final product.
But I think it's nice to see, the progress, because again, some people think this is how you start, but it's nice to show the process. And we have some like 3D printed cases here,
Yeah.
but this is for the final watch, right?
Yes.
More or less.
So when I was doing my watches at my workshop, just for myself, I started thinking about what brand can I create. At that time, I was reading Mythos by Stephen Fry, which is a great book to get into Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And this one really inspired me to why not try to tell these stories with watches.
Yeah.
And that's how I started then to do some designs where I wanted to combine the architecture and the mythology of ancient Greece together into a watch.
Why Greece?
Just because I was so fascinated by the stories and I wanted to retell them. So it's always been something that's dear to me. I'm not from Greece myself, but it's just something that I find very cool. And I think a lot of people resonate with the stories. And with the first designs I did, I was way more architectural. So you can see on the cases that you have literally the shapes of the temples in the case itself.
Sick.
And that was then, I pushed it a bit aside because I thought it would be too difficult to machine and to manufacture. So that's why I then started to refine the shapes into something that still got the architecture in it. If you look at it side by side, you can still see the pediment in the shape of the lux, but it's way more refined, way more classical watchmaking.
I honestly prefer this.
Yeah.
The final product. I think this is a bit too much.
Yes. But even now the case is still very difficult to machine because it has so many angles, and the difference between polished and brushed surfaces is very difficult to achieve.
And you have very pronounced edges, because when I saw this for the first time, it reminded me of your watch. Yeah. But I see it's all rounded up, kind of.
Yes.
But he really went into in the Zaratsu polishing.
Yes, exactly. It's the
philosophy.
It's the same technique also as Zaratsu polishing. So it's polissage lapidaire. It's called in the French term. So yeah, that's what we use for the case polishing.
And are the lugs attached, or is the
No, the lugs are a single part with the middle case.
Nice.
So we have to have some special tools to cut out the radiuses here, so it's really straight into the case.
So the case and the lugs come out together?
Yes.
And that's extremely difficult, no?
Yeah.
To finish up the lugs like this?
Yes.
Because usually they would be...
it's just a three-part case, basically. You have the bezel, the middle case with the lux directly attached to it, and then the case back that's screwed on.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, this is difficult, huh?
Yeah.
I thought the lugs are screwed from the inside.
No, they are one piece. But there was a talk about it to detach them, but
it would make your life easier for sure.
Yes. For a bigger series, it would make sense, but since it's just 12 pieces, you only have to do 12 cases, so
gorgeous.
It's easier.
And the crown is inspired by...
Yes, so the crown is just, you have the logo on it, and the logo comes from the brand name. So the brand's called Monteo, and it's Greek for oracle. And oracles used to live in temples, and the logo is basically a blueprint of the temples in which the oracles used to live in.
Very cool.
So that's the idea, and the logo is engraved into the crown and then filled with micro painting. So you get the contrast of the gold and steel.
Gorgeous. And now let's come to the dial.
The watch is called Zeus. With each watch, I will do a different god, and so every aspect of the watch is inspired by the god. So for Zeus, I chose for the dial a thunderstorm, which is one of his main signs. So you have in the background, you have the storm clouds that are hand engraved into it, and then you have a lightning bolt through the middle and the golden eagle flying through the storm. So the golden eagle is a companion of Zeus. And in the mythology, the lightning bolts of Zeus are physical weapons. So the eagle carried them around for Zeus. Oh. So that's the connection there.
Very sick. And it's engraved, or?
It's all freehand engraved. So it's a solid gold, yellow gold base. And you then the clouds are engraved. And then you have an atomic layer deposit coating on it to get the gray color. And after the coating, the lightning bolt and the numbering is re-engraved, so the gold comes back out from beneath.
Beautiful.
And the eagle and the raindrop indices are appliqué. They are put onto the dial.
And the hands?
The hands are also...
Feature two different polishing techniques?
Yes, so you have a brushing on top and then polished bevels on the edge. Here on the prototype, the finishing is not perfect yet, but yeah, you have a brush on top and a polish on the bevels, and they're made in the alpha style because Zeus, the alpha, the first, the highest of the Greek
The
gods.
big boss, yeah.
Yes.
And the indexes? Like teardrop shaped? Or?
They are raindrops, so
Raindrops?
just for the storm theme, you have the raindrops that are falling towards the center of the dial.
And gold or
It's
copper?
all gold, solid gold, yeah.
And applied? Or
Yes,
from the
applied.
bottom, like with pressure pins or?
Yes, so they have little feet on them, and they're pushed into the dial.
Gorgeous. Again, extremely difficult to polish, I imagine.
Yes, so everything is very fine because I wanted the thickness of the watch to be very slim. So the hands and the dial all had to be slimmer than they usually are.
Yeah.
Which made also the engraving a very difficult process. So to get to this texture, we worked for over 8 months. So I made a sketch for the dial, how I wanted it, and then I started working with an artisan who did the engraving. And for over 8 months, we had different techniques that we tried out, and this was a new technique she had never done before, just to get this kind of depth into the clouds.
Yeah, and I shot the watch before, and I remember the lightning bolt is very thick as well.
Yeah.
And deep.
So for the prototype we used the brass dial. So for the lightning bolt we couldn't do the re-engraving, so it's painted in. That's why it's a bit thicker.
Yeah.
In the 12 series it will be a little bit thinner and a bit more sharper edges.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what's the thickness of the case?
So the case is only 9.7 millimeters
Beautiful.
thick.
It's not. It's a very. It's a very well proportioned as well.
Yeah, it's 39 millimeters in diameter and 9.7 millimeters thick. It's a slightly curved crystal, just to make it a bit smoother.
Yeah, with lots of details. And then for the movement, you chose something very cool as well.
Yeah, so for the movement, I have a base caliber from Chronode. And it also tells the story of Zeus, because in his infancy, Zeus was nurtured with milk and honey by some nymphs. And the movement I designed to resemble a honeypot. So that's why you have the ratchet wheels that look like beehives. You have a little bee, Melissa, hiding behind one of the ratchet wheels,
Nice.
and which is also hand engraved, the bee. And yeah, it's the technical aspects of the movement are it's hand wound with twin barrels, 7 days of power reserve, and so and then all hand finished. So you have the anglage on the bridges, you have the hand engraving of the logo and the bee on it, and then you have the perlage and everything traditional as well, but with very high tech, yeah, machining.
Yeah, beautiful. And how is it working with Jean-François Mojon from Chronode? Because he started many, like, he made many first watches for many brands.
Yes, so it was quite interesting actually. Through you, I connected with him. At first time we met, I was at the EPHJ in Geneva,
which is a fair for basically for people like you to find people to work with, suppliers.
Yes,
exactly. Which is very cool in Geneva.
Yeah, so that was my first fair that I attended to find some suppliers, and I met you there, and you suggested I was looking for a movement supplier.
Yeah.
And you suggested him, and I got talking with him, and he thought the project was very interesting, so he supported me to create basically a unique piece here, and yeah, so that cool. That was very cool.
He's a nice guy, and these are like this is like from the factory. Yeah?
Yes, so this was just to define the finishing of the different parts. So how we would do the engraving or the anglage, or where would to be perlage, and which screws are polished in which way. So I was able to tell them the design-wise what I want. So mechanically, it's basically the base movement with some parts removed because I don't have a power reserve, I don't have a second hand. But otherwise, it's the base movement from then.
Yeah, beautiful. And the clasp, I mean, the buckle was also, it's basically inspired by the first one?
No, so I just used the clasp for the first one I made myself, but it's actually a continuation of the case design. So if you look at the locks, they continue into the buckle.
Yeah, so they're brushed on the side,
Yeah, and
polished on the top.
exactly, and also the proportions of the bevel is the same as on the bevel on the lux. So if you close the watch, it's basically a loop of the polished edge that
Very
goes
cool.
around it. And this is also a small detail that it will be hand engraved with the brand name. That's just for the prototype. I didn't do that.
Beautiful. How do you feel after so many years
It's
of finally having a watch? And you were in Dubai now as well. I saw you
Yeah.
there in the Armani hotel exhibiting, which is it's a big step, huh?
Yeah, so it's finally it's been a long way from the first sketch to the first prototype. It was almost 5 years, so it was a long way to do. And because I'm not from the industry, I'm a mechanical design engineer, so I'm not from the watchmaking industry. It was sometimes a bit difficult to get into some places, but through people like you, I achieved something that I'm very proud of, and I think the watch turned out great, and I'm excited to continue this story.
Yeah, of course.
So,
And you have also clients already lining up for the watches to be made. So.
yeah, I do 12 pieces of each model. So the first model Zeus will get 12 pieces, and 7 of them are already reserved.
Nice, congrats.
And thank you. And so that's also a big step for me to meet the collectors, to get their feedback. Some like the mythology part, some like it less. That's also interesting to get the feedback on it as well.
Now, what's the price point of the first 12 pieces?
So the Zeus is priced at 29,800 Swiss francs without taxes. So it's, that's the price I set for it.
And what's the future for you, man? What's the plan? To go to different gods, or what's the?
Yeah, so the plan is to basically create a collection, the Mythos collection, where I do for each god of the Olymp, I do one model of 12 pieces. So the next one I'm working on is Athena, the first daughter of Zeus. So I will work through the gods, and each design will be completely different. So you will not see the case shape again, because the case here is inspired by the strength and masculinity of Zeus.
Yeah.
So that would not fit the character of Athena. And so I will do a new case, try to do something different with the movement as well, and then continue on with different time displays, or, for example, Poseidon will for sure be a diver's watch.
Yeah.
Because it basically has
Makes
to be.
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
So I will work through all the gods and design every watch.
Sick. I mean, it's very impressive that you also abandoned this case basically after these 12 pieces.
Yeah.
Because it's a financial burden, actually.
Yes.
Plus, it's but you're committing to the design, which is
Yes.
very admirable. Huh?
Yes, so for me, the process for a watch starts always with the story. So I have the elements I want to tell. I want to show the symbols of Zeus. I want to show his infancy. So I start with this part, and then I design the watch around the story.
Yeah.
So it's a different approach to most watch designers, I think, that they start with a design, then try to tell a story around the design.
Yes, more or less, yeah.
And so I try to reverse that. Which also then limits me in the design. So I cannot say I will take this case or these hands for the next one, because it won't fit the story.
Of course, yeah. I think it's cool.
And also, like with complication-wise, the idea would be to build some modules maybe for the movement, so you can have a different time display as well.
Maybe some automatons.
Yeah, something like that. For example, for Hephaestus, for the god of the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
There should be like a very crafty watch there. So I have a lot of ideas. I actually have all the concepts already lined up, but the designs are not yet ready.
Yeah.
So
one by one, you have time.
Exactly. So
you're still young, so you're just at the beginning of your journey.
Yeah. Exactly. The process of designing watches is the thing I like a lot, but I also want to go on to maybe be able to do parts of the Monteo watches myself.
Yeah.
So for the moment, I work just with suppliers. So I do the design, I do the technical drawings, the things that I am good at, and then I have the manufacturers that are the best at their job to do the dials, because I cannot do the hand engraving of an eagle in this detail.
Yeah, of course.
But maybe one day I will be able to, so I'm working towards that as well.
Yeah, but it depends, you know. I think also with time, when you learn more stuff and you get to know who you are, what you want to do,
Yeah.
you don't have to master everything. Like I don't know a single watchmaker who is a great watchmaker and a fantastic engraver. It just doesn't work like that, you know. You gotta focus on your strengths, that's it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people just waiting for creative people like you to give them a job like this. Alex, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure to film the watch, to also see you in person and really hear the stories. You know, we took our time and discussed everything. And guys, check the link in the description below. I'm gonna put your website and Instagram so you can read more about the story and just ask Alex whatever you want to ask him. Because once you dig deep about the meaning and the stories of the watch, there's lots of details to discover, you know, more than what we spoke about today. So again, show some love. Alex, thank you so much. And guys, I'll see you next time.